Well, good morning. We're here again, Roy Pidcock's, and today we're taking out this. I know. Why am I taking this out? I already own a GS. Well, there's a good reason for that. And if you want to find out what that reason is, stick around until after the intro, and I will tell you. Forgot to put my earplugs in, never mind. Let's have some mirrors in the right place, please. When you look down on it, it looks broader, it looks a lot fatter. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, it doesn't feel any different to my own GS, to be honest. So yeah, we're going to go out, have a bit of a rumble. I'm going to have a bit of a discussion with you about why I think it's a good idea to take a GSA out for a test ride. One of the things that I missed since I got rid of my Africa Twin was the big fuel tank. I did miss that. Now this has got a 30 litre fuel tank. You have to fill it up once a year. Well, for some people that's not too far from the truth, is it? But yeah, I do miss having that range. You know, my GS has got like a 200-mile range on it. I'm sure this, I mean, it's got 136 miles left in the tank at the moment, but I'm sure this is easily a 300-mile tank, probably 320, 340 miles, something like that. But it is big. I mean, they are a much bigger machine and full of fuel as well. I think you're going to feel that. But they're just, you know, they're continental mile munchers, aren't they, these things? Absolute continental mile munchers. I'm not a big fan of these screens. I'm not a big fan of them. I prefer my little sports screen. They're so easy to move around. They're so well balanced, these things, aren't they? And I know not everybody wants a GS. I know that. Oh, it's got a heated seat as well. I've just realised the heated seat is on. Oh, that's nice. I thought I'd weed for a minute. So we'll head off and do our normal walk around. And I'll have a bit of a chat to you about facts and figures on these bikes. What you can expect. But the main reason I wanted to bring you out on one of these at the moment is because of the GS 1300 that's just coming out. It's I mean, they're available now. Ow. Superb. It's just so much torque. Just goes. They're like bloody rocket ships, these things. For big beefy bikes like this. Yeah, man, amazing. Yeah, I mean, going back to what I was saying, the main thing about buying one of these now is the bargains that you're just going to get on them. So the 1300 is coming out, as I've just said, but it's the first iteration of a bike, of a brand new bike as well. So if we can get past him, if it doesn't take up too much road. The first run of any bike, you are, probably without realising it, oh, that's better. It's a more effective screen than on my GS. Oh, wow, that's really good actually. Yeah, the first iteration of any bike, the first, you know, rollout of any bike believe it or not, you are going to be the beta tester for that manufacturer, either BMW or whoever it is. The problems are, you know, going to be down to you to complain about, basically. And it will take a few models until they've got everything perfected. Think about this bike now. This is a 2024 model of the GS Adventure. This has had all its problems ironed out. When did this come out? 2018, something like that, GSA? This has had all its problems ironed out. You know, it's been... they keep bringing them out up until this year, and then I think it's going to stop at this year. But all the issues with it, they've all been sorted, mate. They're all sorted. It just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? You're going to get a bargain bike. Let's face it, you're never going to use all the power on it unless you're on an autobahn, and then you might. I think the whole this race to the top with technology and power and cubic capacity, it's just, well, I just think it's all a bit pointless. When are you ever going to use all of that power on a bike? Increasing the CC from 1250 to 1300, yeah, they've made a better engine, apparently. Yes, it's more powerful, it's got more poke. So what? You know? I mean, so what? I'm beyond all that now. I cannot be bothered with the pissing contest of, you know, KTM beating BMW, beating Honda, beating whoever. It just doesn't matter, does it? You know, buy what you want. Buy what you want. But I suppose the manufacturers doing this, it's all been driven actually by us as consumers, because we always want the latest tech, you know, the best. We want bragging rights in the car park. Got more money than sense, and the price just keeps going up, doesn't it? It's spiraling upwards. I'm not going to talk about cost on this bike, because I think if you're interested in buying one, you're in a perfect position to go in and negotiate a good price for yourself on a brand new bike. There's nothing wrong with that quick shifter. I know people say that, yeah, they are, and they are, you know, clunkier than a lot of bikes, the quick shifters and blippers, but, you know, that's down to the configuration of these engines. It's just the way they work. But if you know how to use them, they're still smooth, you know, and you're still not having to use the clutch all the time. I just find the whinging on about, oh, you know, it's not quite as smooth as this, or it's not quite as fast as that. Just get a grip, get a grip. It does feel good though. Maybe if I'd have ridden this foot, no, I wouldn't have bought this over my GS. I'm really happy with my GS. I was struggling with the weight of the African Twin because it's a bit top heavy. So there would have been, you know, that would have been a pointless thing to do. You know, get off one heavy bike, top heavy bike, and then buy another heavy bike. But I think for most riding, you know, you're not going to notice you're riding a GSA compared to a GS. I do think the looks of it, because of this massive tank, I am not quite as enamoured with the looks of this as I am with the GS. I just think balance and proportion wise, I think my GS, to me, I mean, it's, there's all the GSA owners out there now going, oh, you don't know what you're bloody talking about, you don't, mate. I think mine's far better looking than a GS. Well, that's fine. You know, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, ain't it? So yeah, like any bike nowadays, as I've said, you know, they are expensive to get set up, aren't they? You know, to buy initially. And the 1300, I'm not sure what the price point on those is going to be, but I think it's, you know, to be specced up, you're over £20,000. This one is going to be, you know, approaching that sort of figure, but, you know, you are going to get a bargain. That's what I've been told. You are going to get a bargain on these bikes. But yeah, movement-wise, it feels great. I'm going to have to slow down anyway because of the weather. But surprisingly, and if you've not ridden a big bike before and you're considering stepping up to a bigger bike because you want to go touring, you know, you want to do that touring thing and get out there and, you know, mile munch. Let's have that down a bit again. That's nice, isn't it? You know, you can up and down the screen quite easily on the fly. But yeah, if you want to do that, then these bikes are ideal, and I would recommend to you, just go along, get a test ride. Thank you to Ella, by the way, while I'm still thinking about it. Thank you to Ella this morning for sorting me out, you know, all the documentation and all that stuff for this ride today. Ella's at Pidcock's, as is Wayne. Normally Wayne that sorts me out, but he's day off today, lazy bugger. Honestly, can't get him to do any work nowadays. He's made so much millions of pounds through selling bikes. Don't want to work. Yeah, but Ella and Wayne, thanks guys. You're champion. Let's go this back lane here. Riding this now, I feel just like I'm on my 1250. Just feels exactly the same. Just the whole riding experience, absolutely identical. Now this is going to get narrow and gnarly in a second. Not too narrow and gnarly, but narrow and gnarly enough for this test. And it goes uphill as well. If you're a little bit dubious about whether you could deal with a bike like this on roads like this, these are so well balanced. And as I was saying earlier about it flattering your riding, it really does. It, you know, they're going to take a bit getting used to for you, but you will do it. So country lane wise, I mean, it's a little joy. It's a big joy. Loads of room on the bike. Knees aren't too bent up. They're slightly more bent up on the GS because I have the seat on the full short arse setting. So ergonomically, yeah, your feet, your backside and your hands, you know, they're all well balanced. There's not a lot of pressure on any part of you. It's so comfortable. I do feel slightly more forward on this, or do I? It's just the way I'm sitting. Or does this tank extend slightly further back on? I don't know what else to say about them. Critically, what could I say about I don't like? Oh God, I'm going to struggle now, aren't I? Being as I'm an owner of one. I mean, the one thing that everybody moans about is that there's too many GSs on the road. You would be adding to that number. But if you think about it, over the coming years, next couple of years, the numbers should start to come down of GSs because people will all be going over onto the 1300 GS. I do like these little wind deflectors as well, just keep extra bit of weather away from you. You know, on a long, if you're schlepping across France or something like that, and it's absolutely hurling it down with rain, I mean, you're going to get wet, whatever, but anything that can keep the weather off you for that little bit longer just means that you're going to be more comfortable actually in the ride, and therefore paying more attention to what's going on, which has got to be safer, hasn't it? Yeah, look at the size of that tank. They are big, but they do ride so easy. I'm not going to do a brake check on it, A, because it's wet and I don't want to have an accident just having a bit of a slide, and B, because I know how good they are. These are the Brembo badged calipers, and they are more progressive when you slam the brakes on compared to the BMW badge ones, which are made by Hayes, the American company, which is on my GS. Now, personally, I prefer the Hayes calipers, the BMW badged calipers, because they do feel like chucking anchors out. But there's nothing wrong with Brembo, don't get me wrong, it's just that initial bite that you get from the BMW calipers, I like that. It's just more progressive. Don't mind you. Can't tell the difference now. I'm not going to get into any arguments or, you know, even comparisons with other bikes. In this sector of the market, it's pretty much saturated with every manufacturer. Everybody's producing now, you know, big adventure bikes, and the bigger the better, the more tech the better. You know, adaptive radar, do you really need adaptive cruise control with bloody radar on it? I just don't want it. I just don't want it. You know, cruise control is enough, and you should be paying attention. You know, when you're on a motorway, you should be paying attention to what's going on. You shouldn't be relying on technology to keep you safe. You know, it's bad enough with dickhead car drivers out there trying to kill you every 5 yards. You know, without you then using technology and relying on technology to keep yourself safe when you should be bloody concentrating. Just concentrate on what you're doing. Rant over. But that's the sort of thing, you know, it's getting into that silly area now of, you know, what tech can we invent to stick on a bike? Oh, God. What is going to be the next thing? You know, BMW have already done an experiment, haven't they, with a self-riding motorcycle. You know, is that AI that's doing that? I can't remember now. I'm not interested, to be honest. I don't want a bike. Definitely don't want to sit on a bike that's going to be self-riding. You know, I don't really want to be in a car that's going to be self-driving. Yeah, I think they're running out of ideas as to what they can come up with next. Oh, there's also the you know, the blind spot indicator. I think that's probably one of the better inventions that's been added to bikes recently. That is one of the better inventions. I'd be happy with that, I suppose. But I mean, at low speeds like this, it's so well behaved. Fueling is just, well, perfect. We're in 4th gear now on a big bike doing 30 miles an hour. It's just, you know, all that grunt, all that torque that these bikes have, it's just so forgiving. You can ride it like a bit of a spanner and it just goes, alright. So you're being a spanner, alright then. So yeah, if you are thinking of, well, you know, even if you've got a GS and you're thinking, should I have gone for the GSA? It's worth going in and having a chat. But they are doing some cracking bargains on these bikes at the moment, because they have got stock that they want to get rid of, basically. Clear the way for the 1300s coming in. And the beta tester group. I better not say that too often, and I won't get invited back. So yeah, very versatile, and like I say, this dashboard is so easy to read. Now I'm stopped, let's just go into that menu there. So all navigation, media, telephone, they're all off at the moment, but then if you go into settings, nope, I don't want that one, I pressed the wrong button. Then if you go into settings, there you go, vehicle settings, system settings, connections, and then it locks you out when the wheels are turning. Just flick the cruise control on then. Yeah, average speed cameras along here as well. Nottingham was the first place to have a red light camera, and they've just not stopped But they've just put the council tax up again. I think that's to pay for more cameras. I am not confident filtering on this brute. I mean, it can't be any wider because the crash bars, the lower crash bars there, are they're only going to be the same width as the crash bars on my GS, aren't they? Because it's the same engine. And the handlebars are within that limit, as are these upper crash bars and the side of the bike, the tank. So really, you know, I should be able to filter on this just as easily as I do on my GS. Oh, that hill hold, that H there, look, hill hold. It just squeeze the front brake until that goes green. Around town, it's so well mannered, so well mannered. That's entirely down to the fueling and the balance. You know, it just feels easy. It just makes your life so easy. You do feel good riding these bikes. You feel like, you know, and it has drawn quite a few looks from people as well. While I've been riding around, quite a few people have, you know, taken a good look at the bike, and you can tell it's envious eyes. You know, they're looking at it going, oh God, look at that. If only I could ride one. The sun's out now, look. Don't do it, ladies, don't do it. Try not to get killed by another professional driver. Oh, who's just gone round the corner and completely changed lane as well. My God, standard of driving. No, is he stood at the bus? Stopped at the bus stop? No, he's not. There is a bus stop here. I'd look a right idiot, wouldn't I? If I pulled up behind him and he's actually disgorging patients. Punters. Does Mondeo man want to come out here or what? That barber shop there, Goat. That's where I get my beard trimmed when I want to treat myself. It is super easy to ride at low speed. I know, people are chuffing on fags today. God's sake, man. Goddamn lights. Battery is nearly gone on the 360. I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll just dive in over here. I'll probably get attacked and fucking killed. Oi! Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, any kind of angle that you parked on, just make sure it's not too great, especially when the tank's full. Oh God, you are really going to struggle. That's where the first red light camera in the UK was put. Just so smooth and easy accelerating on these. So we've done the country lanes, we've done some gnarly little back lanes. Well, we haven't done any off-roading, and that's not going to happen. But well, it doesn't have off-road tyres on either for a start. But I just couldn't imagine, personally, I couldn't imagine doing any off-roading on one of these. But I do really like it, genuinely, I do really like it. It's not as bad, that makes it sound somewhat bad. But it's not like I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, you know, a bit too much. I don't know whether the engine map's different on this compared to the GS. Maybe someone technical can tell me that. So easy to ride in a casual manner. You know, there is a reason why BMW sells so many of these bikes. They're fantastic. They're absolutely fan-bloody-tastic. So we're going to head back in now, back to Pidcock's, hand the bike over. Yeah, thank you to Pidcock's, thank you to Ella for sorting today's ride out. Thank you to Wayne for handing that over to Ella to sort out today, because you just phoned it in today, didn't you? Lazy bugger. If you go to Pidcock's, tell them Jack sent you. Tell them Jack from Moto Mogul sent you. That's not going to get you any discount, don't Don't think for a minute you're going to get any discount from telling them that. They might even add a few quid on. I'll see you on the next one. My name's been Jack Porter. This has been the Moto Mogul channel. Bye for now, guys. Thanks for coming along today.